Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna show you how to deploy your code using CICD with GitHub Actions. So before I jump onto that, I should show you the structure of my repository. So this is my repository named as microservices, and auth is a project that is working as an API project, backend project basically, and there is one more project that is user management. It is a front-end project that is just admin panel, and it is constructed on Vue. Alright, so if I talk about, so this is just a ping API from the backend project. If I run it, so you will see a ping, and that is welcome to auth microservices, and this is the login page of my user management. If I reload it, so you would see this sort of thing. Why I'm showing you this? Because I'm gonna change the things from my local, and I'm gonna set up the CICD pipeline using GitHub Actions, and then I will show you how you can automate all those changes, and basically they will get reflected here. So normally what a user does, he basically make changes in his local, then he run those sort of commands like git add, git commit, then git push. Then that person goes to his server, and then he just take pull, and then he build his code, and then he run all those test cases, all sort of things. So basically this should be done using CI/CD, and I'm gonna show you how. So to get started, you need to click on the actions tab. If you click here, you need to click here, that is new workflow. After that, you don't need to select anything from the listed things. You just need to click on set up a workflow yourself. Ta-da! That's where the magic will happen. So you can see that main.yml file, you can name it anything, develop or any name, but you need to make sure it should be in YML format, otherwise thing will not work. So I have already set this file in my local, and I'm gonna show you that. So it is here. So I will explain things in brief manner, I will not go too deep for this. Then there is a name tag. Under name tag you can write anything as per your choice, and then you need to define that on what process, on what event this file will trigger, and it will run its own actions. So basically I have set it up that push, whenever there is a push from the branch develop, then this develop.yml will come into play. It has some job stacks as well, where you can see build, then there is a name of the build is being given, and we have defined these sort of things. Strategy, metrics, node version, this is important. For example, so basically whenever we are using node, so there are two ways. Either you are using a static package where we can only use one version of node, we can download that and then you can use that, or you can use NVM. So NVM allows you to use multiple node versions in your machine. So currently I am also using NVM package, but under that what environment I am using, that I have to define here. For example, if I am using node 14, so I can use node 14.x comma, and if I am using node 17, so I can use 14.x, this sort of thing can also. So multiple node versions can also be included. Now steps, so this is where the whole story begins. So what exactly I have named it, it is executing remote SSH commands. Before proceeding, I would like to tell you that it is YML file, so you need to be very careful about the indentation part, otherwise you will get many errors. Okay, uses. So what exactly this step will use, and under what phenomena it will execute all these things. So I am using Appleboy. So basically if you talk about Appleboy, let me just open it. I will mention this link in my YouTube video as well. Exactly, Appleboy allows you to execute all those of commands, all sort of instructions in your server. So it needs host, username, key, port or password. If you are using password, then you don't need to include your port. If you are using port, then you don't need to include your password. And these variables, they are stored in your repository as environment variables. So let me show you that. So if I go to, so how you can set your environment variables for Appleboy SSH. So you just need to click on settings. After that you need to click on secret and variables. Remember, whatever you will define here, that will get reflected only in this repository. All right, now if you click on actions, so you can see I have defined my secrets and variables already. So what exactly I have defined? Host. And what exactly host? Host is just the IP address of my EC2 instance, my server, you can say, where I am hosting. Key, I will talk about this, but I want to talk about username. Username basically is just a user that is currently logged in your system, default. So who am I? If I type it, you will see it is Ubuntu already. And port is basically 22, that we all know. Password, if you are using any password, if you do have any password for username, then you can mention it here. Again, please keep a note of it. If you see the Appleboy documentation, then you can see that whenever you are using, this password or username stuff, then you don't need to enter key. All right, in case if you want to use key, then you don't need to use password, but you have to mention your username. All right, now let me talk about the functionality of key here. So key, so if you talk about key, we have, if you now now let me talk about this key. It is basically a private key that your machine has. So for example, if you want to talk about my private key, so I will go to SSH folder first, and then you can see now, so this id.rsa, this is my public key, and id.rsa, this is my private key. So basically, if I want to know the content of my public key, private key, so okay, sudo vim I need to write by mistake. This is the content of my, you need to copy from begin, from this, from top to end, and you need to paste it here. And how you can create it, just create on this unit and paste it here by creating a key. How to create a key? Just click on this, and then you can type anything, key and the value, whatever the value that you will copy, and after that you need to do one more thing. You need to copy your public key, which will be here. From here, the whole thing you have to copy, and you have to paste it in your authorized key sections. I have already pasted here. Okay, if you do not do that, then obviously you will get some errors, and one of the most common errors is handshake is not possible. Please try to figure out what is this terminology, handshaking, in terms of creating connection to the server. Alright guys, I have explained you enough the terminology, all sort of things. Now let's be practical with our approach. So what exactly it is doing after getting connected to my server, it is executing the script. Now let's talk about script command. We can see I am sourcing by nvm.sh to run npm commands. If you do not write this line, then your all npm command will be proved as invalid commands. So to make them valid, you need to source to nvm.sh. Now why nvm? Because as I already told you, I am not using any static package of node. I am using nvm to control the node versioning. That's why I have mentioned it here. Okay, so as per my project architecture, I will go to my microservices folder, and then I will take fresh pull, and after that I will go to my auth microservices folder where my backend API project is set up, and then I will install the recent packages that I have used. After that I will restart my server, and pm2 is the package that you know already, and if you do not know, please search it. and after that I will go to my user management view repository, not repository, view project folder, and same thing I will do there, but this time I will run the build. Alright guys, so let me just, before making some changes, let me just show you what exactly it is right now. So it is the same thing, it is the same thing. Now I will make some changes. I will keep it like CICD, alright, and here CICD. These two changes I have done. Now we just need to push these changes. I have a different approach to push the code. No, it is not a package, it is just a function that I have sourced to my console. And what exactly it does, inside this functions 3 commands are being returned. The first one is git add all those files that you want to add, and then it is git commit that commit message, and then git push to the current branch that you are using. So right now these three set of commands, it is being run by this function. So I just call this function and pass the arguments as comments, so as a commit message, sorry. So I just use this function, and pass the commit message basically. So CICD test, cool, it is been pushed. So the moment it gets pushed, you will see some sort of things here. Come on, you will see this thing. What exactly it is? The checks, it is being queued, it is checking all sort of coding standards. The deployment process, it is still going on, and see, building process. So you can see whenever you will get any sort of error, you will see all those details here clearly. It takes some time, obviously, it is performing all those checks and executing all those set of commands. Just wait for a while. In the meantime, please go through this documentation, it will help you a lot. I am just telling you one way, although there are multiple ways. Alright guys, you can see executing, great success, we got it. You can see PM2 server has been restarted, and our build is being successfully deployed. Now let's see the changes. So as per our changes, the CICD keyword should get reflected here. Ta-da! Very good. And here as well. So great guys, I hope you have learned how to deploy CICD code using Appleboy SSH. It is one of the ways, and the second way is using the web call. So in that web call, what exactly we do, we use basically fast CGI. If you are using nginx, then you have to use fast CGI, and there you have to host one file that is basically .pl or .cgi, anything, and then you have to write all those sort of instructions. I will create a video on that as well, so that we can have multiple ways to deploy our code. So happy coding guys, thank you, good day.